So we should be able to fight for ourselves, to fight for whatever it is that we want. We shouldn't. I thought that I was just getting so much more confidence hearing that story. That is just you stepping out and saying, this is what I want. I have to get it. I can't get it, and I will go and get it. And I think this even should let more women and every woman who hears this story to love herself more, to say, I am a woman, I can, and I will.
Yeah, absolutely. But at that time, I don't know how she was able to do it. For a woman to walk into the palace and be able to command and say, look, to the men, because at that time, I'm sure the women were still not, in positions where they can just do that, right? So her confidence and her resilience and her courage is, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know how the settings were in that day and age. If you compare it to the year that we are in currently, that must have taken a lot of courage for her to walk into the palace and say what she did.
I mean, somebody has said such audacity. Like,
Yes.
how dare you think you are? In those days, a man would say that. Who are you? A woman to come and talk to us like this. What are, they do you want?
Renee, I lost the last bit of what you said. Your phone, the network was breaking up.
Okay, you were breaking up. So I'd finished and I thought you were saying something that I couldn't hear. Was when you're speaking, it breaks as well. So I don't know if it's from your end or it's from mine.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Is it okay now? Gloria, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I was.
Yes, it was breaking a little bit.
Okay, so do you think it's from my end?
I can't tell. I thought it was from my end, actually.
Now we can. Oh no, maybe it's the network. I don't know, but I can hear you. I can hear both of you perfectly clear.
Same here.
Perfectly clear. Okay.
That's
so let's talk about what role does feminism, empowering women, and gender roles have in our culture today? Renee.
It's interesting because feminism is actually something that I haven't been. So I won't call myself a feminist. I'm not one who's saying I'm a feminist and I'm a this and I'm a that, but I do agree with the concept of it. The fact that, every woman should be given the same opportunity that a man, should be given. Every woman should have that same opportunity. And I think it's really, really important today because so many women are in great positions and are doing so well and pushing our nation forward, pushing their families forward, the culture of the country, everything forward. So if really we didn't have this, and if we didn't, they weren't given those opportunities, then there would have been no point. More women than men. That if men aren't given so many opportunities, after a while, when we can't even find as
Oh. We keep losing Renee.
I don't know what's happening. Can you ask the listeners if they can hear? Do we have viewers on?
Yes. Hi guys. Please let me know if you can hear Renee. If she's not breaking up, is this me breaking up? Is it Gloria? Please let us know in the comments box. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Renee, you are a dynamic self-development and empowerment coach. And do you think that women have self-confidence now?
I think that women are gaining more and more confidence. Women are stepping out and doing great things. But I think that even though some women are doing great things, they are still hiding behind the greatness. They're still hiding behind the great things that they are doing. And this is what I keep pushing women out to do. There are great women out there, great entrepreneurs who have great brands, and yet, for example, their PAs are the ones representing them. Oh, I don't want anybody to see me. Hey, no, 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 no. You go and say it for me. Go and talk for me. I mean, recently I was at a women's networking dinner, and we had to each table we have to ask the lady who was with us a question. And one lady had a very good question for my table. Now, this one was a top executive. And yet she was like, Renee, you ask the question. You ask the question.
Wow.
I was like, why would you ask the question though? And but I've brought the question, so you ask it. Well, and like it was almost like she was shy. She didn't want. So I think that women are great at what they do. They can, but there's still a bit more to do. There's still a bit more for women to come out there and just be who you are. This is who I am. This is what I can make mistakes. I am not perfect. So I can come on here, I can talk, I can make a mistake and everything. But I think a lot of women, the confidence sometimes is not that they are not confident, but they are, and in fact, that is even sometimes a lack of confidence when you are too scared for anybody to see you make a mistake. So you are just hiding behind. So I'll write it all, give it to you, you go and read it. And I think there has to be a time, that women will come out and say, if you won't go and fight, I'm going to fight. Then I'll take the gun and shoot it right here in front of you. So when she took that shot, it could have been a mistake or whatever, but it was showing her determination that if you won't go, I'll go. And I think this should be the mindset of women right now. That listen, this is the time that I have to come out. Right now, I have to come out. So many other people too are doing this. So I have to come out and show what it is that I'm doing for people to know me, love me, appreciate me, and then come and buy from me, basically. So I think this is what I'm just pushing and pushing and pushing. Now I'm even focusing on the younger ladies or the younger girls, so that they will grow with that mindset of this is who I am. I am not perfect. I am still learning as I'm growing and everything, but it's time for me to step out, and I must step out, and I can, and I should. That sort of pushing and pushing and pushing. That's constant self-development. It doesn't end in a spot or in a minute. You just have to keep growing and growing, speaking to yourself, speaking to your mind and everything. So it's taking a while, but I think it's much better. I have to say it's much, much, much better than before.
Than before. Gloria, do you believe this as well? Are women having more confidence? Are we saying, if you won't do it, I will do it. Do we have the Yasanto spirit, that courage, that confidence?
Yeah. And I think a lot of it, like Renee was saying, yes, I think that there has been a huge change. I mean, I was never the center of the room. I was always the one who was hiding behind, whoever wanted to be the center of the room, as they did their thing, so that I would hide in the back and support quietly. And it's taken a very long time for me to be able to accept that, look, you can actually be out there and be front facing, and there's so much that you can give. That's the thing as well, when you recognize that there's so much as individuals that we can give. And so by hiding in a corner and trying to preserve whatever it is and not being known and not being seen, that's not helping anybody. The thing I think is that we are brought up to be very, I think that Ghanaians generally, we are brought up to be very conservative. Generally, this is not even a women or men thing. We are brought up to be very, be humble. When you humble yourself, it's important that you humble yourself and not be too outward and not be too out there. Even when you are trying to, make a point, people see it as you being arrogant, because we are brought up to always be so reserved and so controlled. So I think that it's a cultural thing more than a gender thing. It goes both ways for men and women. And so when you come out of the African parenthood,
so Gloria, wait, before you continue, you mentioned that you were always trying to hide behind. You didn't want to come to the forefront. Why do you think that happened, and why did you get the courage to now come forward?
I think that it was when I accepted that I had something to give, when I accepted that it wasn't really about me. And by hiding, I was hiding my gift from the other people who could possibly benefit from the gift that God gave me, that I recognized that, look, it's not really about you. Because a lot of the times we are so self-conscious because we are centered on ourselves rather than thinking about what contribution we possibly could make to the general good of other people. So when you identify that, look, this is not really about me, this is about what I can do, what impact that I can give to other people, and how that impact can also ripple out when they equally give of themselves, then you recognize that, okay, I have to step up and I have to speak up and I have something that other people can benefit from. And so that's when perhaps the confidence comes, when you recognize that it's not about you and when you remove the focus from yourself to what the gifts you have can do for others.
Hi.
And so that's what I think was for me.
Okay.
Oh, I hope that everybody can hear
Somebody's
me because I can't.
Frozen.
Okay, brilliant. I can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear. Can you read this message from this? I don't know. The name is not very clear, but if you can read what it says.
ECO8PMP.
Yeah.
ECO8PMP is saying, is there any room though for women who don't actually want the attention and really enjoy the behind the scenes because their strengths are more inclined to supporting those at the forefront? So it's not really to say that by coming out and speaking out and, trying to impact other people with your gift that you necessarily have to always be at the center. It doesn't always have to be like that. There are a lot of women doing phenomenal things that we don't even know about. So it's not about being in front of a camera. It's not about being active on social media. It's not about being in the media. It's not really about that. It's about coming out wherever, in whatever corner that you are, and impacting the 2, 3, 10, 50 people that are around you at that particular time. So whether or not you enjoy being in front of the camera or you don't, or you enjoy being, more behind the scenes, impact by speaking, by sharing your gift. So I hope that answers the question. It's for a lot of people, we assume that you can only make an impact on social media, when you are vocal in the media, when you're on TV. And no, it doesn't necessarily have to be like that at all. It could be you making an impact at home with the 10 people that are in your home.
Yeah, I agree with Gloria, but I also have to say though, if I could just chip in here, I agree with Gloria totally, but I also have to say that some people also give themselves that reason or that excuse to also then really stay behind. And the staying behind, like she's saying, it's not like, okay, I've come out, so now here's the mic, where's the stage? Not really like that. But even in your small setting, maybe even in a meeting, right? Something is being said, an idea is being said, and within it's being shared, and within you there's something that you have that you can add to it. But it's just like, oh, let me just keep quiet. And then you tell yourself that, I feel good about just taking the notes and writing. Sometimes, right, we also have to be very, very careful that you have to like really self-analyze yourself, and it has to be truthful. Am I really saying this to just does this make me comfortable to say this? Is this what sometimes we say things like this, we give ourselves reason like this to stay at the back, and staying at the back meaning to not come out and not to give of ourselves. Do you see? So if genuinely you're saying that truly, you really are comfortable, not, like you said, being at the back, if that's what it is, then fine. But otherwise, ask yourself, is this really what you are saying to just make yourself feel a bit, to comfort yourself about what it is? If it is, then really you need to step up and step out, because trust me, and like Gloria said, this, for those who are Christians, the parable of the gifts and the talents and all of that, every one of us here on earth has a group of people who will look up to us, whether we know it or not. So there are some people, it could even be when you go to the market, some 3 ladies that you go and buy from. When you go there, the way you are dressed, the way you speak to them, the way you ask them to package. Every Saturday when you go to the market, they are learning from you, but you don't know. When you go there, maybe you might even give them some advice on how to put something to take the flies away or something. So every Saturday you go to that market, they are learning from you, but you don't know. So each and every one of us here on earth has a purpose to sow into the lives of somebody, and you don't know who that somebody is. So if you are at the back, that's somebody who is not at the back with you. How are they going to be getting, how are they going to be blessed by you? So I don't understand that the back that, people say to comfort themselves as well, that, oh, I like to be behind the scenes and I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Move
Yeah.
fine with it. Yourself.
I'm so glad you mentioned about the market woman. At this year Google Awards, we're recognizing 2 market women. And when we did the research about them, they were like, oh, like, why us? And, sometimes we need to understand that the market women also plays a role. This market woman wakes up every day, 4 a.m., 3 a.m., to go to the market, set up for me and you to eat. The same woman has 8 children, okay? And each and every single one of them has gone to university. Okay, there are doctors, there are lawyers and nurses. And they all need to be appreciated. They all need to be put on the pedestal so that they can share their story, because they are a Yasantwa. With their resilience, they've kept on doing their trade. And when you look at, if we didn't have Makola market or KJTR market, where would we be going? Do you understand? So every woman at the back also has a story. And I think that we need to be sharing those stories. Yes, like Gloria said, it might not be on social media, but somebody around your circle may be inspired by the work that you do. Us, Guba, have been inspired by these amazing 2 market women, which there are more stories of them around. And we need to be able to encourage this more, of us telling our stories. Gloria, are we telling our stories more often than we should? Are we actually telling our stories?
Okay, I missed the last part of what you said, but are we telling our stories? I don't think that we are enough. And I think I don't know what it is. Like, perhaps it goes back to how we are brought up, and to be reserved and not to be too outspoken, and not to celebrate ourselves too much. It's always oh, don't celebrate yourself too much, otherwise people will imagine that you are arrogant or you are some way. So even when you are winning so much in areas that could possibly inspire others, you're thinking, oh, let me not share too much of this thing that I won. Let me not share too much of my victory. Or maybe even bad eyes may come into the picture, So a lot of our culture is, keeping things to ourselves, keeping our wins to ourselves, and not really celebrating much, so that you don't draw attention to yourself. It's always been like that. And so I think that from a cultural perspective, maybe what is holding us back from sharing our stories. But if you ask me personally, in my experience and from the arena and what I've seen, I don't think that we share enough of our stories. My colleagues who are doing amazing work fear to even put it out there that I am doing this, for fear of being seen as bragging or something. So yeah, from that perspective, I would say that there is a lot more to do in terms of telling our stories and using the platforms that we have to inspire others, to also do better, and to hopefully look up to people who are sharing their stories and be inspired by that.
Yeah.
But
Really?
with the sharing of the stories, I totally agree with Gloria. But that was all about the positive stories. But what about the negative stories as well?
Yeah.
We don't
Oh.
like point blank, whether it's positive or negative. The negative, everybody's in it cry, because nobody wants anybody. Renee, do you know 9 years she hadn't had a baby. So so now if we don't come out and say, listen, in my marriage, the first 9 years, I could not be pregnant. Not even once. At a point I was praying for a miscarriage, just so at least, I'm pregnant and I've miscarried. Now, all these things, we don't come out and say it. So it's not just about the good stories, but the hurts, the failures, all of this. We are not sharing that as well. So we are living like a kind of fake life, B. So if that is what it is, then what can we learn from? It's not just the goods, but what about the bads? Let's see the bads as well. So that it's like, oh my goodness, she went through this, but look at where she is now. Then there will be less suicides. people will not be committing suicide because they can point at somebody that they can say, they also had my problem. They also went through what I'm going through, but they survived. But they came out. I can also survive. I will come out of it. So we are just hiding so many things. Nobody wants to tell anybody anything. You know, the stories, whether it's positive or whether positive, we are afraid the witches will look at you. Meanwhile, the witches today are doing the negative. So it's like positive, negative. We are hiding all. So I think that, by sharing your stories as well, you relieve yourself of stress, because people too do so well who have also now they become, it's like it's just eating up in them. They are doing so well, but they are going crazy with their success, because it's all inside them. And and so we can just come out and start having genuine conversations, real true conversations, where I can tell you that I have made so many mistakes in my life. I have failed. I've put money in things that I've lost. I had plans. It didn't work. But then I picked this out of it, and then I moved on. And then at this point, I had this huge contract that came. And that is real life. And then that is what then, otherwise, we are not going to leave any legacy. We are not going to, 100 years, who is going to be talking about us? What are they going to be saying? What are they going to be saying? What they can be saying, her pictures on Instagram were nice, Papa. That's all they can say. What can they say after 100 years? So we have to start thinking about that as well, where sometimes you can just come on and say that, I'm so depressed. I feel something. I don't know what, blah, blah, blah. You just come out, you relieve yourself of so much. That's where I am at right now. That's where I am at. I don't mind to tell you my wahalas that, I went through this last week, if you know what I went through. So when you were about to ask her that, who would you call yourself? I said to myself that I am a woman of power and resilience, because the things that I've been through, that I just go out and come, if I didn't think about it, and if I didn't look back and count the different things that I've been through in life, with my health, when you say things you've been through, then people start thinking, is it just money? Is this not all money? You can have all the money in the world. When you're sick in bed and you can't even go on the plane, what is the money? Do you see what I mean? So the different things that we've been through and everything, if we don't get real to say that, hey, when say, and all of that, that is what is going to be building the culture and building our stories and building our legacies.
You're absolutely right, because we are just showing the glam part of things, and not the tough times that we go through in all of our organizations. And a lot of the times as well, people are afraid of putting things up because of this juju and voodoo. People are scared to put things up. Do you see that changing? I don't know, 10 to 20 years? Is this going to change? How do we encourage our children and family members that, like how to do things properly? Can we keep on talking about juju and being afraid?
Fear is what sets in when you have no faith at all. When you don't have any faith, that's when you have fear. So then how do we get rid of the faith? We need to start building the fear. We need to start building faith. You see, that's what it is. Sometimes, when on platforms like this, when you start talking about Christ, people start rolling their eyes and all of that. But that is the only foundation. That is the only solid foundation for each and every one of us to stand on, to go forward, and to crash it through the hard times, through the good times, through the tough times and everything. So we need to start speaking really, because it seems like we are propping up the devil even more than more than Jesus Christ, more than our Lord. For the Christians on here, you go to places, they'll talk about witches, they'll talk about juju, they'll talk about this and the fear of the juju and the fear of the this and the that. But then nobody will be saying, but my because of my strength in the Lord and because of what the Lord has done for me and this and this. So it's like we are even giving the devil more props even than our Jehovah Christ, if you are a Christian and you know what I mean. I think that the only way, really, truthfully, is if we can now start building solid foundations of faith, to start bringing up our children to know that Jesus Christ is the only way that you can stand. when you have issues, run and go to him, go and talk to him. This, don't have any fear of what man can do to you, because he who is in you is even greater than he who is in the world. To start telling ourselves this, and even our younger children and everything, that's when we'll be growing up in the faith, and you will not be afraid of anything to come and tell anybody what. Nobody can. If you have that belief, that I am covered by the blood of Jesus. I am covered. I am a child of God. I know my standing. I know I know who I am. Then you have that confidence that nobody can come and do anything to you. It doesn't mean that things won't happen to you. Things will happen to you in life, but it doesn't mean that it's the enemy that has put you down and you'll be down forever. Even if you fall down once, you will stand up. You will get back up. Even when at the point when you're on the ground, that's when you tell yourself, quickly, let me come up. I cannot let the enemy succeed here. Let me just come up and continue and move on. I mean, it's until we start building those solid, faith, mindsets of faith. I don't know how we can get rid of this.
So, Gloria, how can we raise young girls to become Ya Santwa for the next generation?
Oh, by ourselves, living and being examples of what they could possibly be, and it all comes back to sharing our stories and sharing, like Renee was saying, sharing your struggles, living your authentic self. I can't see any better inspiration than you being an example of what a young girl sees and wants to be. Every year, I am a part of this Comfort Empowerment program where we go and speak to young ladies in junior high school and senior high school, and we talk to them and share our stories. And it is always such a great opportunity, for us to be raw and for us to share our true selves with these ladies. And when I tell you, the emotion in the room, whenever our stories are shared and whenever we go and speak at these programs, the energy in the room, that is enough. You just being an example of what that girl wants to be. And in as much as, you living as an example of what you want. I mean, when I think about empowered women, right? I think about my mother. I think about my grandmother. I think about, the people around me. And in the same way, your daughters, I don't have a daughter, I have a son. But nevertheless, I still want to be an example for him. I want him to see me as that heroine he imagines me to be. I want to live up to the expectation that he has of me. I want him to see me and say, I want to be like this when I grow up, because it is by having representations of what we want to be that we are inspired to live our truth and inspired to do more. So it's not just about talking always about empowerment and, go forth and do your thing and, don't let anything stop you and da 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 da. But by living an example of what they could be, that's the most impactful way, for any young girl who's watching you. That's the most impactful way, by being an example.
Okay. But Gloria, you said something. You said that when you look at an empowered woman, you look sometimes at maybe your mother or your grandmother. Not everybody's mother or grandmother was an empowered woman. And if you look now, I'm coming. Okay. Now, if you even look back in our culture, okay, for some people to even look back at what their grandmothers did, that is even wrong for them to even look back and see that and probably even start doing. Because before, grandmothers would give the boys more meat in the soup and the girls less, because we are bema very now. So the boys will have maybe 3 pieces of soup. I saw it in my grandmother's house. Nice soup, nice fufu, the bowls, everything pepe. But the boys will have more meat, at least 1 more than the girls. Now it's knowing what an empowered woman is. Now, when you look back, right, at your own mother, your beloved auntie, your grandmother, or whatever, and then you start to compare. And even when I look at my mother today, my mother who gave birth to me, I can see that she could have been much more than she is today. She could have been, but who was around her at the time of her growth? Who was around her, at the time of her struggle? Who was around her at the time that she needed correct mentors? The question is, who are the mentors today? Who are the women that we are looking at? We are talking about looking at a woman who is living the life. Truly, truly, who is the real woman today that you can say that I'm mentioning this person and this person and this person and that person. Now, the point is now you tell yourself, I cannot even now be calling any women right now. So then let me be that woman that I can be that impact for somebody else. So I'm not perfect, but I'll be doing this. I'll be doing that. And this is what you have to be telling yourself, because you cannot learn everything that you saw your mother and your grandmother do. Not all of them will empower you today. Not all of them were, even though you love them dearly and they gave birth to you, that is your true mother, your true grandmother. But they also played certain roles before that were very wrong today. Do you see what I mean? Sometimes even some of the ways that even like you're getting married and your grandmother can call you to give you advice or to for because we'll and some of the things your grandmother will tell you, your grandmother can even tell you, if he slaps you, keep quiet. Just go under the pillow. I mean, my grandmother didn't tell me that. My grandmother, then she was me to be the man. No. But I'm just saying that these are some of the things that in our culture we learn. You are a woman. Go and keep quiet and cook. Don't go and talk. When he talks, don't say. That's not to say that go and be rude or anything. Because the thing that, one reason why people don't also like feminism now and all of that is that, empowered women now, generally, sometimes, okay, now the thing is, I don't even know where your question was going, but where I am going. But I just feel like, let me just say this very quickly, and it's very, very important.
No, go ahead.
It's really important, okay, that every woman should be empowered, but it doesn't mean that we should become disrespectful. It is so important. Roles have shifted. Now, there are times where maybe the woman can be the one with a better job, bringing in more money. Maybe the man is not even doing as well. So maybe you might even need the man to help you with the kids because you have those early board meetings. It doesn't mean that you should start disrespecting your husband now because he's at home, because you actually even need him to be there and he's being the man for you. Basically, so you see the thing, that the struggle and the difficulty, and that's why some men as well don't even want to hear. And you people, when you get up, they'll say you people, is because we have also sometimes some women feel like now that I can do it all and everything, then they become like, like they can talk to anybody anyhow, even to their own other women. They don't even respect other women as well. They don't even respect men just because they feel like they are empowered. So we have to be very, very, very careful, about when we talk about feminism and everything. We should learn about it. We should learn about being empowered as well and everything. But let's also learn about being a respectful woman, a woman of elegance, a woman of we should still have that sort of respect and that sort of class and elegance around us. It's really important. But sometimes it can just go haywire.
Like, it's so true, the stuff that you've mentioned, because you see it even in Ghanaian movies, right? When and these are all things that psychologically we are learning. If children are hearing that, ebi obi kwa aware na ne mami tunufo na ne mami aka say, oh, so ukunu ye say ya, enye bibia na obeka kire obia, you keep it inside you don't tell anybody. These are things that exactly what you've said, we've seen it on TV. We've seen it in Ghanaian movies. And so it's something that it is real in our community. So how does Renee, how does Gloria now put their best foot forward in terms of making sure that these things are not repeated? Yes, you spoke about, say, what Bema. That Bema is actually the most important person, because a man and so we should be teaching them about the woman, okay? Because how you should treat a woman, and all of these respectful. Because at the end of the day, when you hear about a man has beaten a wife, not that it doesn't happen vice versa, right? But it's more prominent in like the men doing it. And so we need to actually be educating the men also in these conversations. Do you agree with that?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely. But with that, the best is when that education starts from home, and when they're a child and everything. Because when a man, it becomes a man, like, after 25, 30 and all of that, it's very, very difficult to change a man.
Yeah.
It's very, 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 very difficult. That's why sometimes people have struggles in marriage, because they think that, oh, after marriage, I will change him. It's very difficult to change a man. So this is up to us women as mothers to start speaking about how we're going to bring up our children, not just girls, but boys as well. And it is really important. Now, with the children as well, it's not just what we speak to them, it's what they see at home. So there's also no point in Sunday school, come everybody sit down, a boy must love a girl must love it, nice teachings. Then as soon as you finish and your husband calls you, you're like, what? Oh, please, clear us. I have a meeting tomorrow. Your child will see you talk to your husband like that. It doesn't matter what you teach the child after, whether it's what they are seeing at home. So we ourselves now, this generation now, we're watching this today, and we can change. We can change from now. I've learned so much from Gloria right now. I've learned so much from you. I can be picking nuggets from different places and telling, that's self-development, developing yourself every day. I'll pick something here, I'll add it. I'll pick something here, I'll add it. You just be adding things to your life daily. Now, until we start making that change right now, the next generation coming, I don't know for them. I don't know. I really, really don't know. Because certain things that we didn't see as children, the children are seeing it right now. And like I said, they are learning by seeing, not by hearing. The children learn more by what they see and how they see you acting and everything, more than listening. Listening. Because sometimes you tell a child, don't do that. They'll say, but mommy, you did it. But daddy has done it. So we need to be very, very, very mindful and start to train the children now. So mothers with sons, you really, really need. I have a son as well. And we need to make sure that we bring our sons up like the kind of men we want our daughters to marry.
Yes, absolutely. Women empowerment is also sometimes shed in a negative light. Why do you think this is, and how can we change it?
Well, I have said that. I have said that I think that it's shared in a in a negative light because especially the men. The men sometimes feel like the women sort of disrespect them when it's like roles have changed now. What men were doing before, women are doing it now. What women needed men for before, they can do it now. So it's almost in a way like, a man will feel like because a woman is empowered, she won't need him anymore. I know a man who has been married a couple of times, and with him, as soon as he marries you, the woman, it doesn't matter your job, you can't work. You have to stop working. You have to stop working, and then he will promise you to give you your however much you were being paid, blah, blah. But I realized that men who do that, it's just so that they can have you under their authority. So that when you have to be coming to them, oh, please, this month, maybe I need this. So then he feels like he's a man because he's the man. How much do you need? Come back tomorrow. I'll see if I can get it for you. Then they'll be doing that. Then it's like, it's about their ego, and it's about their, some men in our culture, especially, Bema, come and ask me for the money. Come and ask me. And that kind of thing. So I think that with men don't like this. As soon as you start speaking about women empowerment and about feminism and everything, then the men start to get angry and offended because they're thinking that we want to take their role from them, or we want to take their respect from them. So that's why I was saying that an empowered woman does not have to become a disrespectful woman. You can be a strong, empowered woman who is the income, like you are the one bringing in the diamonds into your home. Your husband, right, probably doesn't even have a job, right? But he is the one who is taking care of the home. Now, roles have changed because before that's how it was. The men will be the ones bringing it. And being a homemaker is a very, very, very difficult thing. It's not easy. When you say I'm a housewife, people think housewife, that means that you just do your nails and do pedicure. Charlie, housewife, it's not easy. Taking care of a home, providing the food for the family, all of that and all of that. Now, it could be reversed. A man could be you should even respect that man more. Because if you didn't have that support from the man, that woman, you couldn't even continue to rise in your level where you are. So as an empowered woman, you should have that wisdom to even see that even though I'm so empowered now and I'm making so much money now, I have the peace of mind and the, everything to be able to go higher because I have peace at home, because my husband is the one looking after my children. So I'm not worried about my children. I'm not worried about my home and everything, because the husband that I love, who also is then my companion as well, who also does other things for me nobody else can do and satisfies me, is doing all of these things, I must respect him. I must respect him. It's not because I'm bringing in the money now. So we need to also learn these things. And if we learn these things and like it just becomes the norm, I'm telling you, there'll be no problems anywhere. There'll be no problem. But the problem is when the men start to feel like these women who have become bankers and what and what corporate women and blah, 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 you become too known. That is when it worries them a bit. And I think that's when, and also when the women as well start sometimes being haughty to their other women as well. That's when it becomes a problem, but it shouldn't be.
Yes, absolutely. Gloria, do you agree with the points that Renee has made?
Oh, totally. Like I've been nodding all along as she's been speaking because she's preaching. She's literally preaching. I totally agree. Like she's made so many valid points. It's so important. And it all comes back to the representation that I was talking about earlier. There are two things that will happen when you're watching and growing up as a child, you're watching your parents. Number one, there'll be everything you want to be, or number two, there'll be everything you do not want to be, and as much as possible, you want to be that example. And like Renee was saying, a lot of people feel threatened by feminism because they assume that feminism means that women want to be the men, or we want to be like the whatever in the relationship. And that's totally not it. Feminism is for both men and women to have equal opportunities in social arenas, in political arenas, in economic spaces, for both of us to have equal opportunities. I mean, as a man, are you not proud that your wife, your sister, your auntie, your mother is occupying, a senior role, is leading in the boardroom, is being seen as, the go-to person for whatever it is? Are you not proud that your wife is earning so much? And as a result, you don't have to worry so much financially, about how you're going to bring up the home. It is so important that we understand. And I think that for a lot of people, especially in our culture, because we are brought up in a very, what's the word? I think it's patriarchal society where, we are trained up as, the woman always has to be, begging. Like Renee was saying, there are men who find comfort in that I am in full control, that my wife has to come to me for every single tiny thing. And so we feel threatened that when the woman is empowered and they no longer need us for, the financial support or whatever support, that they may want to become the dominant person or take on the dominant role or whatever. It's not about that. It's about seeing ourselves as partners. It's about allowing us equal opportunities. And what is the point? There's no point in us talking about feminism and not including men. That's like, why would we even want to do that? That's like talking about, leaving the responsibility of equal opportunities to women. It's like leaving, I don't know, matters of race to the black person, and
Right.
saying that it's only the black person who can. Yeah, so this is a women's thing, so me, I'm not interested. We have to involve the men. We have to involve the men because we have to recognize that even though, feminism has been around for centuries, right? But we are nowhere near having equal rights like look at our workspaces. We don't have equal pay. Whatever a man can easily, take up a leadership position without having to do much. But as a woman, you have to do so much more to be able to earn the same salary or the same space as the man. Look at our political arenas. Like something like 22 or 25% of roles globally in the political space are occupied by women. And again, it's coming back to this. The more opportunities we give our women, the more we invite women into these conversations, the better we will be. There's a saying that, what's the saying? That if you I can't remember the saying properly, but we have to recognize that the more opportunities we both have, the better for all of us. And we have to train our men to recognize that this is not taking away your masculinity. No. I mean, men and women, we are completely different. We are completely different. We can't even begin to say that, oh, well, whatever a man can do, a woman can do better and all those things. Listen, we are completely different. We can't deny the fact that 90% of the time, or even perhaps more, the man is stronger than the woman. And so that's how we've always thought, in the olden days, is the man who will go to the forest or whatever and bring the kill, and the woman will be the one who will, welcome him and cook and do all of those things. But like Renee is saying, roles have changed. And it is about time we understand that by supporting each other is the only way that we can win. By supporting each other is the only way that we can move forward together. That's it.
Fantastic. And I'm glad you mentioned. Go on, Renee.
Sorry, you were saying that men don't like to hear it to hear about empowered women, and sometimes women too. Some women don't like to hear about it as well, because also women also we also, in learning all these things, we have to change certain mindsets and all of that, because sometimes an empowered woman gets to a certain position and uses that position to fight all the women in her past who've done something to her. So an empowered woman will probably get into this position, and now she's in that position, and this is a huge platform. This is a huge place to see how you can bring other women, other intelligent, powerful women like yourself on to come up together. So we rise together. That's at that point that she'll be like, I'm not bringing Denta on. Denta, she rolled her eyes at me sometime. And Gloria, we were in school together. I went to cirrhosis with her. Sometimes I asked her for Gary and she thought she didn't give me. Long ago, women, we still have that kind of, and some long time ago, how, like that day that she rolled her eyes at you, she probably was in the worst menstrual cramps ever. You don't know what she was going through at that time that she was nasty to you. At that time, Kwampo, did you also go and ask her, are you okay? Can I even help you? Why are you being so, you're not being nice? Are you okay? We didn't go and ask. For all you know, she had been raped that morning, and she did not even know how to talk about it to anybody. So that day, anybody who she was just like attacking anybody who came to her that day. You don't know. But now we women, we get to that point of power. And now this is the point that I am here. The women come up, let's rise. But then no. We'll start thinking I should bring her on. Her makeup is nicer than my makeup, so she'll come and shine more than me. I should do this, I should do that, I should do that. So some women even don't like empowered women. And that is a huge problem as well. I think that's been bigger than the men, with the women. The men, 3-4 men can come together. The next thing you know, they built an empire. But a woman, we sometimes we have too many like little trivial kinds of, and we need to also get away with that sort of mindset and all that. For us to go higher, really, really, we need to drop something.
Renee, is that it? When they say the women are our own worst enemies, is that what it means then? From what you're saying,
I mean, when you say that, I mean that's what it would mean, because women can be really, really, really nasty to women. And that is a problem of insecurity. That a lot of the time it comes with insecurity. And when a woman is that's what I have learned. Like before, I would go to a place. I mean, have you been done anything to you? You have me in the tree. Like I haven't even done anything to you. I haven't even greeted you. We haven't even been introduced. You have already eyed me. And before, I used to think that, what's your problem? I mean, me, before you eye me one, I can eye you three back. Until I got to a certain point that I was like, you know what? No, I'm too big for this. And this is not who I am. This is not who I am. So I shouldn't let somebody else belittle me to their standard, where I'm just doing this. Like, I'm just using Enitre as an example or something. Enitre, for those the Ghanaians or the people who are not Ghanaians here, is like eye rolling. Like you see another woman and you see another woman, you're just rolling your eyes. Now, what I realized is that women have this sort of defensive thing. As soon as you see another woman without knowing who she is or anything, immediately You feel like you have to, like, you just put up this guard. That is the insecure women. I'm talking about insecure women. Insecure women, as soon as they see you, they just look at you from head to toe. In their minds, they see you as better than them. You have not told them you are better than them, but they see you as better than them. So immediately there's this defense thing. Then they are nasty to you. You go to the bank, you are paying in a check. Then the lady at the counter is like, pardon. As you were walking to her, she was looking at you, and in her head, she was saying that, yeah, you're buying a home for Papa Brady. How I wish I had this weave on. Already, they have already started suing all those things. So, and you haven't even said anything. Then you just get, oh, hi, good morning. I'm trying to, please, we are closed. We are closing in 10 minutes. Oh, like, hey. And you're like, hey, why? Relax. You know, women, we need to, that's how, when I'm teaching self-confidence, I teach from this kinds of AO because it's the truth. Because it's the truth. I teach you, I start telling you that do not think that anybody is better than you. There's absolutely nobody better than you. Now, if I see and I know that nobody else is better than me, I don't see you as a threat. I don't see you as my competition. I don't see you as an enemy because you are not better than me. I am also good. You are also good. We can be better. Do you understand? If we start coming from that sort of mindset thing, we will change. But the insecurity in women, and that's what it is. Like, you know, we need to deal with that. The women who are insecure, have low self-esteem, and that is deep. That's for so many different reasons. You can't just say it. You can't just talk about it in an hour. Basically, it's like so many. So it's a whole, you know, they actually have to go through things and all of that. But generally, I just say so now, any woman that has an issue with me, this is my secret now. Let me just tell you very quickly. Anytime I go anywhere and I see some lady B who is trying to do me some looks, me, so I'll look at her, then I'll see something nice about her, then I'll go closer, then I'll go and say, oh, hi, Gloria, I've heard about you. I see you all the time. I love your posts. I read your posts. Gloria, I think your wisdom, by the time you start saying that, she will just melt. It's like she can't even believe that somebody is giving her fans, somebody is complimenting her. She can't believe that this woman that I felt I was threatened by is the one complimenting me. I'll start complimenting you just. And truth, I'll say something. Maybe your bag is so, oh wow, I've been standing there, but I saw your bag. I thought I have to come and tell you I'm stealing this bag tonight. No, oh, you're really cute. I know you. And I'm thinking, you know me, and yet you didn't smile at me. You know me. You could have also said, oh, hi, I know you. But no, it was just like, because maybe she's nasty. Let me be nasty first. You know, so that is that sort of thing that it is so childish as well. It is so childish. We need to grow and come out of it, you know. And there is nothing wrong with another woman. If you compliment another woman, it doesn't take anything away from you. And that is my trick now. So when I come and shower you, by the time I finish showering you, start to be carrying me. You'll be lifting me on your head. Then I'm like, very good, let's go. So that's my trick now. I don't joke with it.
So do you think that your worst critics would be women or men?
It's in different areas. Worst critics in what area? You know, different areas. Men can criticize you in a corporate role, for example. If there's a particular woman who's really good at a position or at her role, and then there's a man there who's threatened, feeling that this woman can really, he knows that this woman, she's good. She knows her stuff. So then they can then come and start, you know, so men can be your critics in that area. I think that with women, it's just to do with ourselves, you know, it's just to do with, you know, like, you know, a woman will say that, oh, this girl is so beautiful. Oh, please, have you seen her something? They'll find something. Have you seen her leg? One of her legs has chair. Or have you seen her this? Or have you seen her? You know, so with women, it's a lot to do with self. It's a lot to do with self and beauty. And because with women, we believe that is our power and that is our strength, you know, our beauty, our self, and blah, blah, blah. With men, it's to do with the mind. When they see an intelligent woman, when they see a woman who really, maybe she's the one bringing ideas to the board, she's the one bringing ideas to the table, then they start criticizing you about certain things, that she's this, that she's that. So I think, yes, in both ways, really. But I think with women, it can be nastier, I think.
Okay.
Or it's more regular, I should say. It's more regular.
Okay. Gloria?
Oh, I totally agree. I totally agree with what Renee is saying. And I really like that, you know, about looking out for what it is about another woman that you can compliment. Because if only we could all do this, instead of focusing on the other person perhaps being a threat to us, you know, And a lot of the time, like Renee is saying, it's coming from a place of insecurity. It's a place of, oh, I don't have what she has, and I wish I had what she has. And so instead of honoring her, and instead of, putting her on a pedestal and celebrating her, instead we will look for a fault and bring her down. It's just this whole thing about, I don't even know if it's a African thing or if it's a woman thing or what, but it's always, perhaps almost always that, So I love that trick, of looking out for something about somebody else and complimenting them, and wish that a lot more of us could do this. Now I'm going to be looking out to do this.
Yes.
So perhaps, if somebody else is listening as well, this is an opportunity for you to celebrate other people as well. And a lot of the times it's because we are not celebrated enough. Women, as women, we are so used to protecting our space because we are so used to people taking away from us. And so whenever it looks like the spotlight is on somebody else, we want to dim the spotlight because we are thinking that they are a threat to us, instead of thinking that, wow, if she's doing this should be inspiration for me. This should be a motivator for me, that I can also do what she's doing. Instead, we see it as a threat. But yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with Benay. I wish that a lot more of us could celebrate each other. And as we are talking about feminism, I wish that a lot more, both genders, we would just celebrate each other, partner with each other, respect each other, and respect our different roles.
Absolutely. And so the last question is, in 100 years, how would you want to be celebrated? How would you want your legacy or what people to know about you? Because 100 years down the line, we are celebrating Nana Santwa for what she did. Yeah. What are you going to do? What is going to be your legacy? I want an answer to that question. I'll start off with Gloria.
It is always my prayer, it has always been my prayer that I will be seen as the person who's always looked at an opportunity to bring somebody else up, to always serve. It's always been my prayer. And so, like I said before, when you make it less about you and you make it more about other people, that's when you leave an impact. Your passion is about whatever it is that excites you, but your purpose is whatever it is that you're doing to impact somebody else. And so the prayer should be that I hope that I find my purpose, and I hope that in living my truth, that I am able to impact other people, that I'm able to bring other people along with me. That's always been my prayer.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Gloria. Renee.
You should have asked me the question first, because you make the But I love it. It's true. No, what she said. What else can I say? Because truly, right? And this is if you are truly somebody who wants to help and bring other people up. This is really the kind of life you want to live, and this is how you want to be seen. I want to be seen as that woman who made me know who I was when I thought I was nothing. When I thought that, I was just in some ditch, she made me, even seeing how she lived her life, how she carried herself, how she dressed, how she spoke, how who she was as a person. And also when I heard her, how what I actually received from her has made me who I am today. I told you last week I had a very, very tough week. Last week, Wednesday, a tough day, very, very tough day. Now, I was so down the whole of the day. I was in bed. And then I heard that Mrs. Idukuna Awushika, she's this Nigerian, amazing Nigerian lady. She was on the head of, she was on the board of First Bank. She's also a preacher. She's an entrepreneur. She's a businesswoman. She's on so many other boards. And she's a woman of wisdom when you hear that woman speak. I mean, there are times when I have heard her speak and I've gotten up and I've planned, it's giving me a whole business plan, and it's giving me a whole sort of a push to start something, And I heard that this lady was doing something somewhere. Now I got up, got dressed, everything, paid money. It wasn't small money. I went to go and sit down there to just hear her speak. And I think that I want to be that kind of woman. That when somebody is lying down, that they think that today, they think 2 days or 4 days, I think that and then they are son, and then they may realize it's okay, it's finished. Then they'll just hear my name. And by hearing my name, they start to remember things that I said, things that I did. They start, all of this and all of that. And because of that, they got up. And please, that alone is too much for me. That is what I want. Because there's so much in everybody, but then they don't know. Right now, my focus now is on the young ones, the younger ones right now. Right now, I've realized that the women before, my clients, I think when they come to me, they already think that they know Ama, so they're not even listening to me. So I'm even tired of my clients right now. I'm like, please take it away and go and continue. Right now, I want the ones who don't know, 12-year-olds. That's my next target. That's who I'm going to be working from 12 years to even 19 years, 11 years, 12 years. Who is a beautiful woman? I don't know. Kim Kardashian, because of her waist, because of her thighs. But look at my stomach. But look at my this. Then I start to tell you, do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Then I can talk to you and change your mind and make you believe. By the time you are 18, 19, 20, you just say, where you are going, Crampo. No, when you see me, you just blow me a kiss. I blow you a kiss back. That is my next target, because we really need to work on them now, because social media alone even has confused so many people. The fakeness of it and everything. Social media is killing small girls. They are crying. I know a girl whose mother called me that her daughter wants to commit suicide. She just finished SS3, and her mother was crying that the girl has finished SS3 because her last year of secondary school, the girl was dying. When she goes on social media, she wants to commit suicide. These are the girls I am planning on talking to now, because those are the girls I feel are malleable. I can mold them. My clients will say they are amabing. They are okay right now. So bye-bye to them. I love them so much. But right now, I think that and all of us, we really should pay attention as well to the younger ones around us, and I really want to be that woman that, when my name is mentioned, this is what I want. I want people to say that, I am who I am today because of lessons I learned from that lady, by watching her lifestyle alone, by hearing her faults, by hearing her downfalls, her failures, by seeing her cry and her mascara near black, her banenim near. When she finished, she puts her makeup back on, blush. Hi girls, we're back on. That's the kind of woman I am, and that is how I want to be seen.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So last one. I said this was the last one. Who is your Yasantua? Both of you. Who is your Yasantua?
Wow.
Oh, it's interesting that you asked that, because you embody that for me, Denta. You embody that for me. Seriously, just today, you put a post up, I think, in this kente and this red lace something, right? And I don't know if you mentioned Yasantua in that post.
Yeah,
but you embody, okay. You embody that for me. I think about, all of, and the other day I saw you as well being honored and given a position or a new role in tourism for Ghana and all of that. Like, I have followed you for years, and you have always been an inspiration for me. You have always been so out there, so achieving this and achieving that and achieving that. And it's one win after the other. So you totally embody that for me. I have to tell you. Totally. But aside that, I think that, there are so many women in our community, so many women who are doing amazing things, who are not necessarily being put forward, who are not being seen on social media. Like you were saying, Renee was talking earlier about the market women, and you going to the market and them looking up to you without you even realizing, you are a Yasantua yourself with so many people in your life that you don't even know. So don't ever feel like, oh, this, I'm not good enough, I don't have what it takes, and because there's always somebody looking up to you. So always be a representation of that person that you never got. Perhaps you never got anybody to look up to you, but be that person for somebody else.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sis. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Renee.
I think one thing that I also respect so much about you, Denta, that I love so much. I love your life as a mother. I think it's so beautiful. I love that. Even though you're so busy, you have time for your children. To be honest, the videos I most enjoy that you post are when you with your kids at a table, and then when you're discussing things and all of that. You know why I love that so much? Because you prove that you can be a powerful, strong woman and still birth children and bring them up. And that I think is so important right now, because sometimes some women to get so busy and so corporate that I come now 9 months of pregnancy. Like, hey, I don't now when I even manage the 9 months, I drop it for the nanny. Bye, I'm back. Executive woman. You know, I mean, I've seen you come. You came. There was one time you came from a meeting. You came with all your children. Let's not even go. We can do a short movie about the entire. Really, you know, I love. I like. Sometimes you bring up certain stories. I'm like, but where did it? What to two in your mom? Wouldn't mind them? I mean, can't you? What to two in your? That's the best way. I can't say it in English. I'm so sorry. But what to two in your mom? And it's a powerful woman who can do that. I'm so sorry, I can't say it in English. But like, but I love what Gloria said about even looking at who is the Yaa Asantewaa to me, the image I see in the mirror. The image I see when I'm brushing my teeth, who do I see? The most important thing is when you make yourself that Yaa Asantewaa, that is the most important Yaa Asantewaa to you, because that is the person you see the most all the time. When you are brushing your teeth in the morning, that time looking in them, I know a woman who didn't look in the mirror for 7 years. She brushes her teeth like this. Then she goes. She doesn't look in the mirror because of certain things, blah, blah, blah. But we need to bring ourselves up and groom ourselves up as those women that as we are brushing our teeth and we are looking in the mirror, we are telling ourselves, hey, yesterday was bad, but today we can do it. But you can do this. Remind ourselves of some of the things that we did, some of our successes, and then remind ourselves that, hey, so yes, we failed right now, but it doesn't mean that have you forgotten when this, have you forgotten? And remind ourselves that we are being looked upon. So again, like I like when Gloria said that it's not about you, Krampo. It's not even about you. Now, the question is, whoever is looking at me, am I a Yaa Asantewaa to her? If not, how can I ask? How can I live in a way that I can be called one? Right now, I cannot even see, I can't even mention so many. I'm just really, really trying to live my life as that woman who, I'm not living any fake life right now. I don't have time. I'm not living any fake life right now. And I'll be a liar. And my fear is that I'll go and stand before God and he will ask me that everything that I gave you, what did you do with it? Do you know that there was this person standing right beside you that needed, you didn't give to her because you were too busy, because you said your lash one had dropped, so you won't speak that day. Ha. So please, let's be your Yaa Asantewaa. And Denta, all the best. And Gloria, I love you too much. I admire you too much. You know, I've been with her from school. She started right in front of me. We're the backbenchers.
Wow.
And I've seen you grow, Gloria. And I can't tell you how proud I am of you. I see you speak and it gives me pride as if I'm your mother. You know, but like we are going back there. Brown check. We are moving forward.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Honestly,
and I feel the same way about you. The same way.
Yes, me too. I feel the same way about the two of you. And honestly, I mean, the last time Renee was on the show, and it was an amazing with Marcy. Who else was on there? It was Roberta Annan.
Yes.
And it was just
Claudia.
it was. I can't remember. It was somebody else, and it was just an amazing conversation that we had. Similar topic, and both of you are such an inspiration. And I think that we need, like we said, to be telling our stories, the good and the bad, like Renee said, you know, so that people can know that, look, you will go through that tough time where you do want to commit suicide as well. You know, you will go through that time where you're stepping on hot fire, that you're thinking, oh my God, is this going to be the journey for me? It's important that we do. And that's why I think that celebrating one another is crucial. Because, you know, when I do the Google Awards and people are saying their speech, and each time I feel emotional, because you're just hearing their story about, this is what I went through to get here. And, you know, and that makes me feel so happy. So I'm challenging both of you women to share your story, to share your Yaa Asantewaa moment this month, this week, to really honor this great woman who has impacted on all our lives. You know, her story makes you more encouraged about your journey. That if this woman could stand up against the Brits, who at the time had guns, had all of these things, okay, who were conquering other nations, but she stood up and said, no, you cannot sit on the golden stool. It's not for you to sit on the golden stool. Only the king can sit on the golden stool. Let's celebrate women who we think are Yasantwas this week. Let's put our stories out there more to encourage others. And let's just create a better environment for one another. So that's what I would leave you with today. Yes. Hi. Yes.
The party was good.
The party was good. Okay. I'm live, DJ. Okay. Yes. I'm gonna say hi then.
Hi. Hi, my sister's coming. Hi.
Hi. Yes, the whole crew will join. Oh my goodness. So, beautiful ladies, thank you so much again for joining me on the show. It's been very insightful, very impactful. I appreciate what each and every one is doing. And please, this week, from tomorrow going, let's celebrate Yasantwa in a big way. Thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Deta. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining the show. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that you've been impacted. I hope that you've learned something from these amazing two women and their stories and what they've had to share. Now, I'm, encouraging you all to post Yasantwa, to say something about what Yasantwa means to you, to also put who is your Yasantwa. That would really be helpful in the campaign that we are doing, trying to raise the profile of this amazing woman who fought for us. Again, I just want to put an announcement out about World Remit. They put out a message, and the message reads, we have been alerted that there have been an increase in scams using the name under the name World Remit in Ghana. World Remit does not offer investment services and would never ask you for your personal details online or through WhatsApp. Here's a guide on how to keep yourself safe and secure online. I will put out the link for you. Please, 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 only use World Remit online and nowhere other else, not on WhatsApp. World Remits are not on WhatsApp. They can't have conversations with you on WhatsApp. So please, please, please bear that in mind. Don't forget to follow the pages. Don't forget to subscribe. And let this month be a month of Yasantwa. Thank you so much. God bless you all. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye.